Hey you guys, so welcome back to the channel, and we're still talking about the Philippines right now. And I want to talk specifically about my bag that I took for the entire trip. I didn't check a bag at all. This is everything that I took with me. Not everything. For the most part, it's everything that I took. The only thing that's not the same are the clothes. For clothes wise, because I knew we were traveling to the Philippines, the biggest thing is I knew I wasn't going to be wearing socks, so flip-flops and chacos, so I don't need socks at all. um, I knew that I was going to be there for at least 2 weeks, and we were going to be doing a lot of swimming. It's going to be doing a lot of raining, and so uh, I ended up packing light on the underwear. I only packed 4 pairs of underwear, and then 6 shorts, 6 shirts, and a sun hoodie. And a poncho. And that's about really it. And I really didn't need the poncho. I didn't need the underwear. That was unnecessary weight because I didn't end up using any because every day we were swimming. And so, like with the Philippines, it's hot, it's humid. You're gonna get in the water, you're gonna get out, and like it's just like backpacking. You just gotta go with the flow. And so for me, I'm going to review this bag. I actually quite enjoyed this bag. So this is a Mountain Hardwear. It's one of their new ones. It's a 45-liter bag, and I love it. It has a rotating hip belt to help it sway. So the lower part of the bag, your hip, actually rotates. There's a metal bar that comes down right here that's a little U, which allows this to rotate. So when you're walking, your bag will have a natural sway to it, which I actually quite enjoyed, especially when we were going town to town and we were walking and we had to walk far. The little side packs, the little side pouches, they're not bad. Have no issues with them. We really didn't use the stretchy stuff. Now, I will say one thing I don't like about their shoulder straps: when you start carrying a heavy load, because of the style and the thin padding, it's not really thick, it's very thin. The shoulder straps can kind of cut into your shoulder, and so I found myself constantly having to adjust for that. Another issue that you have with this bag, let me bring my GoPro over here, is you have right here this little tie that you clip into to allow you to remove this bag. And one of the issues I was having was every time I would get into this little thing would consistently just pop off. And so, give me a second. Right, it would consistently pop off. And so what I ended up doing is I put a zip tie on to help keep it on. Because every time you open this bag, this little loop in this little tab just disconnects every single time. And so that was kind of annoying. And so I put that on here and here to keep it on longer. So yeah, essentially that's what it looks like when it's connected. I mean, you saw what it looks like when it's disconnected, but I found putting this little zip tie on, one, if I need to take it off, I can. It's not a big issue, but it keeps this from popping off, which that's what I really want. And so essentially all it's doing is creating a little pinch on this rope, and that helped tremendously. So I'm gonna pull out everything that I was taking, that I essentially took. Again, the packing cubes, they have clothes in them because I'm getting ready for another camping trip here in a couple days. And so let's go ahead and pull everything out of this bag. you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying this video. If you are, can you please hit that like button? Can you please subscribe? Please follow. It really helps me out. Go check out my Instagram. All right, so we emptied the bag, and now we just essentially have the bag. You know, it's very lightweight, very versatile. It will fit, for the most part, it will fit on just about any plane you can fly on. I'm going to post a picture here in a second of one of the planes that we flew on, which was a prop plane, and fun experience. Loved it, especially when we were island hopping. And this bag did phenomenal getting on. The only thing I had to do was actually just take out my tripod, because the way that the bins worked, you can't slide it in this way. It has to be this way. And so that was something that was interesting. Some features about the bag: it's kind of like your ultralight bag. It's just, you know, one cylindrical tube. There's plenty of room on the inside, which is really nice. I enjoy it. I love that it's simple, and I love that it's very easy to use. Sorry, I forgot my towel. This little front pocket pouch, you just pinch, and you can adjust this to open it wider, so you can put more stuff in here if you need to, and you can also tighten it. Now, one thing that I personally don't like about this setup is the middle pouch on the back is the only spot that is adjustable. And so one of the other issues that I was having was on the side pouches, because you can't adjust these straps at all. You have, you know, your normal zigzag strap that goes down, right? That starts right here, goes inside, and then it comes out right here at the bottom. And you can actually move this. You can unclip it and move it back if you need to. There's different options that you can use, or you can buy straps and connect one here and one here, and you can put something on the bottom of your bag if you need to. But for the most part, it's a very good bag. I really wish someone would reach out to me, because I would love to collaborate with any backpacking company to make a backpacking bag that is designed for multi-day trips, that can fit on airlines, and it's designed around a creator, i.e. photography, videography, something like that. Not like social media influencing, professional artists. Because that's my challenge, right? My equipment I have it down to the very, very bare minimum, and we'll talk about my equipment here in a second. So the way that I was packing, and I'm going to talk about the stuff that I was taking as I repacked this. For starters, the first thing I do is I want the stuff that I need very, very little access to at the bottom. So in this case, you know, when I was in the Philippines, my towel was up at the top because we would go swim and I needed to dry off, so I needed to have access to that. But we're not there, and the way that I'm packing it now is a little different than I did in the Philippines. So just keep that in mind. Easy access stuff going to be on top. Stuff that you don't need until nighttime, very bottom. So this is going to go at the bottom. This is my sun hoodie, but my packing cube that had 6 shorts and 6 shirts. And as we're packing this, right, normally I try and keep everything as level as possible when I'm putting stuff in. So for me, I want the very bottom to be very, very cushiony. So the biggest product that I have, the biggest packing cube is going to go in. This was where I had my sun hoodies. I packed 2 sun hoodies. and anything else that I need. I think I packed one pair of socks for the plane. Yes, I did. I packed one pair of socks because on the plane I was wearing my Chacos, and so that's a 15-hour flight, and so your feet are going to get cold and you're going to be cold, and so having those socks was very, very useful. So we'll put our next packing cube in, and again, we're trying to keep this level. And what is it that I need versus what is it I don't need? Next, we'll go my GoPro case. So my GoPro case has everything electronic that I need for my GoPro. Again, I'm keeping it very simple to the bare minimum. I have my neutral density filter case right here. So I have my clear. Currently I have the 4-stop, 8, 16, and 32. So we can get really creative with the GoPro if we need to. An extra battery for the GoPro. My media kit. So that way we can put the mount the GoPro into this, and I can attach my little lights if I need to, if I'm shooting a nighttime or a sunrise or whatever. Right, it's come in very, very handy multiple times, and so I'll have those. Then I have a I think it's like, you know, you can go cheap on a shutter remote. I kind of spent a little money, Hampinson shutter remote for my camera, and then any electrical cables that are for my GoPro or specific things are going to go into this case. And this is what's going to go in next, because it's going to sit flat. Now, what I'm not going to put in is my DJI mic. I have the DJI Mini 2, and I take that case with me, so you have the case and the mic that sits next to the case. And then I'll keep one up at the top, and I'll clip it in, and I'll magnetize it as well, so it'll be clipped in and magnetized, so I don't lose it. The next thing that I'll put in, now this is a lifesaver. This is an Atepes, I believe, ATEPA. It's a Bubble 5.0, and this thing is a must. I love it. You hear people talking about, you know, lightweight and stuff. This is a pad that you can sit on. It's lightweight, very versatile, and all you do, you know, if you've ever been in the military, think of it like your sleeping pad, right? It's the same material, the same concept, and then blow it up just a little, and now you have a little sitting pad for either the plane ride, or for, you know, I sat on it, you know, I would adjust it on the plane to have a little bit of cushion, right? The ferry ride that we took going from Negros to Bohol, right? The ferry, right? We had an open deck because we wanted to see the ocean and we wanted the breeze. And with that, you're sitting on a hard bench. And so having this for a 2-hour boat ride is very nice to have, so you're not just sitting there. But it's also great because you can take it with you camping. It's very, very good. It's very, very versatile. And then all you do to deflate it is you just sit on it and it will deflate. And then you just stay sitting on it, close your valve, and then we're going to close it up like a burrito. We're going to reopen this valve. And there we go. You know, now it's closed and it's easy to go. And it comes with these little rubber bands, but it's the perfect little pad that I found that is very nice. I got it on Amazon. I believe it was like $50. You could go to REI and get the foldable one, kind of like the sleeping pad. And you know, those are nice, they're lightweight, but this is even better than those, because the only downside to it is if you pop a hole, well, what do I do? Well, thankfully, you know, it's just like your sleeping pad. It comes with a repair kit and a patch kit, so that way you can then fix where the leak is and stuff like that. And so having this was very nice. Especially like again, you know, on the plane. And so for me, the location for this varied. This thing only weighs 0.16 kilograms, or 0.35 of a pound. It's made from a 190T polyester PA coating, and it features a comfortable, and it's durable. Now the exact size of mine is 38 by 28, or 15 by 11. And this thing is super nice. It packs down to a 15 by 9 centimeter. And the top fabric on this is made from an elastic coat TPU coating 30D. So it's pretty strong. It's pretty I'm very impressed with this, and this works very well. So for this trip that I'm doing, granted, I packed it the same way when we were there, right? I knew when I was going to need it, so I pulled it out. But this goes in front of my GoPro to help create, to help fill the front side of this bag, right? Because we're looking at it as a tube. Some of the other stuff that I took, I have some framing cards for my photos. And this is something that I highly recommend any photographer carry. These framing cards are, in my opinion, a must. I have the rule of thirds, the golden ratio, and triangles. And that's really all you really need when it comes to composition. But essentially, all you have to do is pull out the card, and you can see the framing. So you can frame your subject and visually see, okay, is this working? And for me, that's huge, because I don't want to, you know, depending on where I'm at and stuff like that, if my camera, let's say it's raining, right? Supposedly these bags, thankfully we didn't get rained on, but Mountain Hardwear says that these bags are waterproof. And so I've yet to test that. I should probably test that. And so for me, depending on where my camera was, I would always have these in my side pocket in the hip belt. And the reason is because I can pull them out and I can be like, okay, is this what I want? Can I do this? And I'd spend, you know, a little bit of time messing with that. And if I can't get the exact composition that I'm wanting, or I'm just not seeing it, then I'm just going to keep moving, right? And so it allows me to decide if I want it. The next thing that I take is a white balance reference card. And that's all it is. So when you're looking at this, this is 60% gray, 100% white, 100% black, and a combination. And the reason why you should always have one of these, and I always snap a picture of this. This is the first thing that I take a picture of. I'll walk out in front of my camera just like I am now, and I'm going to take a picture of me holding the card. And what that's going to allow me to do is I can set this up, hit the certified neutral, so make sure I click the gray area where it's 60%, and that's going to help me set my white balance in Photoshop or Capture One. You just take the color picker, you drop it, you copy that, and then you paste it to your other photos. And now, in theory, your white balance is correct. And this is a good way. And I always carry it. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It just depends. But I always have that. Another thing, oh, and I did not pull it out, but another thing that I recommend, if you haven't done it, You could do Apple Tracker. I use Samsung, so I have a Samsung tag. And in the upper part, you have a little keychain. And for me, I like to just clip a little my tracker in there, so I know where my bag is. And if someone ever steals it, I know where it's at. I stick one in my camera case, which is right here. So if someone ever takes that, I know where it's at, and we can work with the authorities. Now, coming back to packing, the next thing that I want to put in are my neutral density filters and the attachments. So I took both in my case. So this is a 10-stop neutral density filter, which allows me to then combine it with a 5-stop filter. So I get about a 15-16 stop depending on the time of day. And that is very important for me because let's say, we have a beautiful photo of mountains or a skyscraper, and it's middle of the day, but it's cloudy, and you're like, I really want to get this, and so your light's not right, the time of day is not right, but you really want this shot. So this is where the creative process comes in. I can take these filters and take the shutter remote. I can go into Photo Pills or my neutral density filter app, and I can tell it exactly what neutral density filters I'm using. And then from there, it's going to essentially give me the rough amount of time I need to expose for. So let's say it's 3 minutes. So I'm going to plug my shutter remote in, and I'm going to expose for 3 minutes. And what that's going to allow me to, and this only works if the clouds are moving fast, okay? That's the biggest thing with this to be successful. Your clouds have to be moving fast. You're going to set up your composition, and then you're going to record for 2 minutes. And what that's going to do is allow you to streak the sky. So now we're taking a boring photo and we're making it interesting. And so that's where these come in. So this is the 10 stop, and it's pretty thick. These cases are no joke. They got cardboard or something in it to help keep it. And so what I like to do, being that this is my first one that goes in, it goes all the way to the right, and I want the hard side out, the thicker side. So that goes on top of the GoPro case. Because this one's long, this one has the Ultra 60 grad, where it's just a hard line, a faded grad, and then just a normal ND filter that I mainly use for like 15 and 30 second exposure times. And so I stick this one in like so. So thick side facing out, this side towards my tripod. And then we have all of the attachments. Now, with this is the Fire Fork Crest. There we go. That was backwards. But yeah, this is a Fire Crest set, and I prefer the square sets over the circular sets, and here's why. With the circular ones, they're not always right, especially if it's one of the ones that you have to adjust. I prefer stacking because I can control it more accurately than I can with a twist. And if the twist is off or whatever, then it can mess up your photos. And I know with this, my photos will be fine. And it does come with a CPL or a UV filter for when you're dealing with waters and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here. Perfect. Next, we're going to put in the camera. Now, with the camera, I'm also going to put, so when I was in the Philippines, and something that I started to do, which I highly recommend, go to REI, go to Amazon, Google, whatever, go get yourself a few bandanas, because they're really nice to have for you to wipe your forehead and stuff like that, and to carry. This was such a huge lifesaver in the Philippines, especially with how hot it was. So we're going to go ahead and put this, because we're going to be utilizing this a lot, we want quick access to it. So it's going to go up here in the orange pocket. Same thing with the lighter. Now, one thing to note, I was pointing at it earlier, there's some black electrical tape on here. And I do it with all my lighters. I take black electrical tape and I wrap it so that way if I need tape, I have it. So it's a quick, effective way to have tape where it's taking up very little space. So we can put that up. I have an outdoor battery. This is from Nest Out. This is their 1500N, and this thing is by far phenomenal. I love it. I also what I did with this is the same company also makes a 3-panel solar kit, which is super nice. It's great for backpacking. It's only about this big. I have it inside. I should have grabbed it. But essentially, I can take this with me when I'm backpacking in Colorado. I can take my solar stuff with me and I can keep all my stuff charged. So if I need to charge one of my batteries, I can use it from here. My phone, GoPro, whatever, right? The only thing that I don't think I can do with this, unless I get in an attachment, is male to female for like plugins. And so this goes in the black spot because easy access, it's heavy, and I want that up at the top. Now, some of the other stuff that I would take with me, so we have the camera, so let's go ahead and put that bad boy in here. I'm in the process of trying to find something better. I found this little soft packing cube on Amazon. And I mean, it works great if you disconnect your filter or your lens. That camera will fit in here perfectly and I can close it. The problem with that is, well, one, now your camera is disassembled, and two, you have to figure out what it is that you're going to do. And so what I like to do is I will take my camera, I will take my shoulder straps and everything. Make sure your back camera case is flipped in so you don't mess up your screen. Now, I do have a screen protector on, which I'm not too worried about. But yes, my camera has nicks and dings. It's an expensive camera. Here soon we'll be upgrading. So yeah. So we'll just take our strap, fold it, and then we put it up into the side. And just like that, now we have our camera, which now we can slide in. This will help protect the backside. And then from there, right, anything else that I might need, so a floating GoPro handle for when you're swimming. That's going to go in front of the camera. My sun hoodie, I kind of just like to throw, I'll just take it, kind of just fold it up a little, and this is what sits on the left side of my camera, where in behind that pouch, and I kind of like drape it over the top, so I kind of like curve around my camera, because I'm trying to protect that the most. That is the most valuable piece of equipment that we have. A hat, again, the hat's not important. It's a beanie. I'm getting ready for a different trip. So now that we have all of that stuff packed, the last few things that I have is my headlamps. Love these guys. They're from REI. They're about $150. Phoenix HM65R is what I'm using. I love this headlamp. You can go days without losing power. Search and rescue, anybody who does stuff like that, this is what they recommend getting, and this is by far the best headlamp I've ever got to utilize. I have two. I mean, I don't even need to, but better to have it and not need it versus need it and not have it, especially when you're in the backcountry doing stuff. And then the last packing cube, this is just miscellaneous stuff. So batteries for my camera, lens cleaning and stuff like that, toilet paper, or anything that I need quick access to or need to get into. That's what goes in here, and this sits on the top. It's pretty for the most part, pretty light. I'm actually going to move the headlamps to the top because I'll actually need those because we have an early day. And then the last few things, of course, we have the tripod that goes in the side. I also carry a insect repellent. You can also get this at REI. This is the Maya Cam, 8 hours for mosquitoes and 4 hours for ticks. And this thing works very well. And then I also have a spray bottle for lavender organic hand sanitizer, and also you can get this at REI too. So, you know, having bug spray and stuff like that, very useful, comes in handy a lot, especially if you need to have access to it and so forth. So that generally stays at the top. And so we can go ahead and close up this bag. Let me So with the top, black is what's going to roll down. So what I first do, and this is like, you know, my rafting bags, right? This is supposed to be airtight. So what I do is I'll grab it, and then I'm going to push down to squeeze out the air, and then as I pull up, I start to roll down. As we roll down, now we can clip it. Orange strap comes up and over and clips to the orange tab where the one tab keeps coming off, and you can see why, because of the point is right there, and I'm really hoping that this point holds, and so we can adjust it to where the weight's on this, and there we go. We can flip it. Your clips are just right here on the side, clip on the side, and then right down here, wet weather bottoms for when it rains, wet weather top for when it rains, and then just pull here and pull here, and that tightens. So some areas of this pack is really loose, like the top, it's loose because you can't go very far down with the two front straps. And the last thing that needs to go in is my tripod, which just slides in the side. And then from there you can adjust your side straps. So we can go ahead and tighten these up just to make it nice and snug. And there we go. Our bag is packed, and we're good to go, which is really nice. So yeah, that is the Mountain Hardwear 45-liter bag. We've talked about my pros, we've talked about the cons and different stuff like that, which has been very useful. It's a very good bag. We're already getting some fraying right here in the shoulder strap. We got some strings coming done, and that's only from 2 weeks backpacking in the Philippines. The material is okay for the most part. I think I've already ripped a hole in it somewhere because I accidentally rubbed up a rock up against the rock in the canyon. Yeah, right here we got a little hole. So it is, some of the material, you know, could be a little bit stronger, but that's the cost, right? That's what. Hey, if you're really enjoying these videos, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it helps me teach you. And you know, I want to connect with the community. And please ask questions. Let's get to know each other. My recovery is going pretty good for my leg. So next week we'll be doing some camping, hopefully, and seeing how we can do with that. So we'll see you in my next video, and you have a lovely day.